What's up, Facebook? I'm a little early, but it's a good thing. Welcome to Grank Time. My name's Frank Barker. I'm a 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu black belt. I've been martial arts for 38 years. I started when I was a 9-year-old boy. Went through many different styles of martial arts, getting to where I am right now in my career. I've dedicated myself to 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, no gi, submission only grappling. Back in 2006, I went over to the States. I met my brother-in-law, one of my top students, Josh, there, and I went back ever since 13 times in 10 years and stuck with Eddie Bravo, my teacher. And the rest is history. I'm a black belt here in Australia, and I run 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu Melbourne. We have 3 affiliates running in Australia because of our efforts down under. And I just thought I'd bring up to speed. So in case you're just tuning in for the first time, because lately we've getting a lot of people tuning in on Grank Time after the live 10 minutes that I do each night on the way home from work after training. So and this is what I usually do. I just jump online for only a few minutes, and we discuss things, whether it's UFC results, mixed martial arts news, anything to do with jiu-jitsu or anything cool, strength, fitness, conditioning, kettlebells, just fun stuff, whatever, music. So anyway, specifically tonight, I finally got a chance today to tune in on a podcast on Joe Rogan, on the JRE, Joe Rogan Experience. It's number 984, and it was with a lady on there that was apparently a doctor, and she was written an article apparently about chiropractic in America and how it was a load of shit. It was all bullshit. I mean, I'm talking. Look, I haven't even heard the entire podcast yet. So, honestly, I could only sit through about 40 minutes of it. And you know what? And I was just like, I tried to keep my mind open. Joe was pretty on song with her. He was pretty aggressive when it came to what he thought about chiropractic. And I got to tell you, I wouldn't blame you if you've been doing chiropractic for a bunch of years. I've been getting adjusted every week for 10 years straight. Since 2007, I got involved with chiropractic, and I never looked back, and it changed my whole life. It gave me a second chance, a second career. I'm not kidding. I just come off a 2-time Ironman Australian triathlon for 4-year preparation and raced twice, ran various different marathons and all sorts of time trials, you name it, man, I did it. I thought that was it. I thought there's no way I could do anything at a high level anymore until I met my chiropractor. I met Peter Goldman over in LA. He was over in LA just, I think he at that time in 2007, one of my buddies, Conor Hune, he's a Elite XC fighter, ex-Strikeforce fighter, Elite XC, 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu black belt. He was one of the original HQ monsters at Eddie's gym originally, at Bomb Squad and at La Brea, at Santa Monica, all the way to Burbank and back. He introduced me to Peter Goldman because I was so busted up. I had bulging discs in my back. I had issues with my knees. I had shoulder issues. I had hamstring issues. I had all sorts of problems at that time. And it was funny because I picked up a magazine at the dojo, one of those Blitz or Fight magazines, inside jiu-jitsu or whatever it was, grappling arts, whatever it was. And I saw an article on Peter Goldman. I was like, oh man, that's cool. And I ended up in LA for the second time, and I was so fucked up. I was in such bad shape, and I just read about him, and I was thinking, wouldn't that be great? And he was based in San Francisco at the time. So I was like, wouldn't it be great if I go back there next year? And man, it'd be great if I can get adjusted by this guy. Ask him a few questions, because I always had like everybody else, I had a real suspicious, a creepy kind of feeling about chiropractic, and I tried every different health means at that point, and nothing really worked. It really didn't. And I persisted. I do things like 10 years at a time. So I was getting a lot of physiotherapy, and it helped me, but it was just not. I just kept breaking down. So I was like, what am I going to do? So anyway, I end up, fast forward 2007. I got bad back. My knees are torn. I'm in bad shape. Both elbows are torn. I was in bad shape. Neck, sore neck. I really was in bad shape. Anyway, Connor goes, hey, listen, I'm getting adjusted on Wednesday night. You want to come? And I'm like, yeah, that'll be awesome. Hey, by the way, let me, is your chiropractor Peter Goldman? He goes, how do you know? I nearly have a heart attack. I go, are you joking? I just read about him before I left to come to LA a week ago. And Connor's like, he's my chiropractor. He's amazing. And I'm like, fuck. So the planets aligned. I went down there and I met Dr. Peter Goldman and I got adjusted. And I was like, Peter, I'm from Australia, mate. How am I gonna, where am I gonna go to from here? You're here. And actually you're in San Francisco and you only come on a Wednesday to LA. I go, how am I supposed to deal with this now? He goes, look, I've set everything up for you to get you adjusted and get you feeling more comfortable. All you got to do is find someone who just works with his hands on a table. So I found my chiropractor. And if you're interested in who he is, so I don't get him in trouble, because they've got real stringent laws about promotion and online type stuff. So I'm not going to even put him at risk by giving his name away. But if you're interested and you're in the northern suburbs and you need a great perspective on how chiropractic works at a very, very deep but basic level that can really relate to you, my chiropractor is your boy. Hit me up on Facebook, inbox me at Frank Barker, or hit me up, go to my website and inbox me a message, and I'll get back to you on your own email, and I'll discuss it with you, and I'll forward his details to you of his place of business and his contact details. He's an absolute genius. And he's also done martial arts, so he fitted every mold for me. So I found my chiropractor. Shit, I nearly said his name. I found my chiropractor, and really quickly, and it's funny when you start putting it out there, everything aligned real quick. A guy that was installing my Constantina doors in my home, he was his cousin. And that's how I found him. He says, he goes, how was LA? Because he's installing my doors in 2007. I said, oh man, I met Dr. Peter Goldman in chiropractic. He goes, oh, my cousin's a chiropractor. I go, does he work with just machines? Or does he put his hands on you? He goes, nah, mate, all hands. I'm like, he's my boy. I booked in, I rang up my chiropractor. I asked him, I'll pay his fee to be able to get me in, and I can just so I could sit down and ask him all the questions about chiropractic, because at that time I thought it was a load of shit too. He goes, no worries. Got my attention real quick, filled in the paperwork, got it faxed over to his office, and I went and saw him. And I sat down and I grilled him, nearly dropped his name again, my chiropractor I've been with for 10 years, and he actually said this to me. He says, you know what, Frank? I not only believe that I can actually help you enormously, but don't be surprised if I make you better than ever. How was I to doubt this man? So I booked in and he got my attention super fast, and he was so pro, and man, he just stood there and took it on the chin. He took every shot on the chin like an absolute professional, and he answered with calmness and passion, and he knew his shit. Just the certificates on the wall told me what kind of a company I was keeping right then in his office. So that was 2007, and it's coming up to my 10-year anniversary in September. And I got to tell you, he was right. I was better than ever. And I think now, if I had have competed as an Australian Ironman athlete back at the time with chiropractic, I reckon I would have been easily 20% better. And if I was 20% better, I reckon that would have might have made the difference alone in me being able to maybe even have a real shot at qualifying for Kona back in the days when qualifying was very, very difficult. You had to go under 10 hours. But that's how passionate I am about chiropractic. And getting back to the point, I haven't missed a week. Many times I've gone multiple visits to see Dr. Jim. Snaps, I said his name. Anyway, I'm calling him Jim to protect him. His actual name's not Jim, but anyway. So anyway, oh gee, there's something in my eye. So when I heard, just today I started tuning, actually it was last night I started tuning into the Joe Rogan Experience number 984. And I started hearing the way they were attacking chiropractic. It made me take a step back. It really did. To hear the way it was just totally shat on. It's the only way to describe it. Now, I just want to say something. I love Joe Rogan. I know Joe. I've trained with him a bunch of times at HQ. Joe Rogan is a 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu black belt, a brother of mine. I have the utmost respect for him. This has got nothing to do with anything at all. This, in that moment, with this topic of discussion, with chiropractic, I totally am a little bit disappointed in how that was handled, because I do not believe that's a crock of shit. Listen, yeah, there's a lot of evidence to point that suggests, yes, the early stages of it in this development, the way it all came about was dodgy at best. And this is why I stayed away from it for so long. And I've been an athlete all my life, and I stayed away from it my whole career because I knew, no. I heard everything that everyone has ever heard stereotypically about chiropractic. You can't blame them. So, for thinking that. So, after 10 years, I mean, I felt like an idiot. I felt like, am I a fucking idiot here? All these people, all my students in my school, a lot of them all go see my chiropractor and the adjustments they've made, emotional improvements they've made, their health, their overall well-being, the way they're looking at the world, the way it's helped their jiu-jitsu, the way it's helped their flexibility, emotional state, everything. I've heard many great responses from chiropractic, from people who've been adjusted, and it was a little bit... I was taken aback by it, and I just want to say that chiropractic is real for me and my family. I don't believe a word that they were saying. There's plenty of scientific evidence to support what chiropractic is and how it works and why. And if you just spend 10 minutes online, and that's another thing. Like Joe would always, this is what got me a bit interesting, is that he didn't ask Jamie to Google anything at all about, is there any paperwork out there to suggest that it is, that maybe we're wrong? I said, hang on, look at the other side. It was all pretty one-sided, and I was a little bit disappointed for that, and I hope that only good things come out of this. And I don't know, maybe next week being, chiropractic week, you know what I mean, International Chiropractic Week, maybe, I have no idea. Look, I don't want to look into it, but look, it was just, for me, listen, it's done wonders for me, my family. It's changed my life. It's made me the best version of me ever. And I have no doubt that if I wasn't taking through this process early on in my life, that I reckon I would have done so much better on all levels, emotional, chemical, and physical. So for me, I think there's more to it than that. Have your own mind when it comes to these things. Listen, Joe was being honest, and that's cool. I totally respect his opinion. Look, I didn't have to like it, and I was a little bit taken aback by it, and I'm interested to see what the fallout's going to be here. Listen, it was really, really bad. Look, go over and check it out, and so I'm not exaggerating. But anyway, I just want to jump on real quick and just express my opinion on that. So if you got any comments about this, please put them down. Look, nothing works 100% ever. Nothing's perfect. And it'll help some people, and it won't help some people. And Dr. Jim, oh, God damn it, I said it again. And my chiropractor, who is not Jim, by the way, will tell you up front, look, a good practicing chiropractor who's got his shit together, like the guy that I see, in my family see, and not only him, but other people in his practice, listen, do your homework. It's not for everybody, and he'll be the first one to tell you if it's not for you. And that's what a good chiropractor should do. Just like a good martial arts teacher should do. Should admit and say, hey, listen, bro, this ain't for you. So, and he's man enough to do that, and he's done that on many occasions. So, listen, that's my experience. I wanted to be someone that was coming from a positive point of view because I'm a huge advocate of chiropractic. I'm for it 100%. It's not for everyone, but it is for me, and it has helped me enormously. So, chiropractic has got my stamp of approval, no doubt about it, and I ain't no dickhead. So, take it as you will, do your research, spend 10 minutes, and I'm sure you'll get something out of it. Please leave your details below if you want to know more about what's going on with me and how you can get in touch with someone qualified that I can recommend and that my chiropractor can as well. Please inbox me personally about that, and I'll get to you on that. I got to run. Stay strong, healthy, and happy. 10 Planet all day, all night. No rest, no rust. 0 days off. Love you. Say hi to your mum for me.